All right, good morning, everyone. So, welcome to the DB8 retreat day. As it is a retreat day, if people could try to, avoid entertainment, until at least until we're done. Try to stay off your phone, stay off the internet, things like that sort. You can, find teachings to listen to if you need something to occupy your mind or read, do reading, but just try to avoid television and videos and things like that. So there are five meditations in this module. So we will endeavor to cover the five today. So before we get started, were there any questions? So then let's begin. We'll start by adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position. As we move into the first meditation. So we think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap, right over left, with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. And try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning. Also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. And begin to move the mind inward, constraining it just to the body and mind. Concentrating your awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation of the air as it moves into and back out of the tip of the nostrils. Giving yourself the instruction to notice quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and then without judgment or frustration, to lift your awareness up from those distractions and to place it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind becomes more calm, we'll generate a broad altruistic motivation for our time. So we recollect the purpose of studying this module in particular, which is to develop the tools that we have to put together our practice. And our practice is not for ourselves alone. Our practice is principally designed to unlock our inner potential to be of benefit to others. So we think of the ways in which sentient beings suffer, the ways in which they are never truly perfectly happy, even though, just like oneself, they deeply wish to be happy, to be free of suffering. And on the basis of that understanding, we develop the wish to be able to benefit sentient beings, to be able to lead them to a state of genuine happiness, uncontaminated happiness, a state beyond suffering. And in order to do that, we ourselves must develop our minds. And one way in which we must develop them is to make progress in the skill of concentration, which depends upon calm, focused attention. The main point of this first meditation will be to use the image of the Buddha as an object for the development of calm, focused attention. To imagine oneself in a larger open space, and imagine that at the level of your forehead, 6 or 8 feet in front, is a large golden throne adorned with jewels and supported on each corner by a pair of snow lions. On the throne is an open lotus, and on that are sun and full moon discs. Upon the lotus, sun, and moon is Shakyamuni Buddha, the manifestation of the omniscient mind of all the Buddhas, the Dharmakaya. If one has a root guru, one thinks that he is inseparable from one's root guru. The Buddha is the one who shows the unmistaken path. His body is in the nature of golden light, and he wears the 3 saffron robes of a monk. His face is beautiful, and he has a loving smile and a compassionate gaze that embraces you and simultaneously all sentient beings. His countenance is completely free of judgment, accepting you just as you are. His eyes are long, narrow. His eyes are half open. His lips are ruby red, and his hair is blue-black, with each hair curled individually to the right. His head is crowned with the Ushnisha. The palm of his right hand rests on his right knee, the middle finger touching the moon cushion. His left hand rests in his lap in the mudra of meditation, holding an alms bowl filled with nectar. From his body, light beams are emitted in all 10 directions, composed of numberless emanations of the Buddha, carried on each beam to ripen the minds of sentient beings. So we hold this image in our mind, trying to feel the Buddha's living presence. Try to become absorbed into the concentration on the Buddha, not thinking of the visualization as an image, but as being in the presence of one's teacher, attending with devotion, with stability, and then begin to imagine that surrounding oneself are infinite father and mother sentient beings. They are fully immersed in all of the various sufferings of cyclic existence, of the six realms. They desperately need a source of refuge, protection. Think I myself circle continuously among these six realms, and I myself have been tormented by suffering. But in this perfect human rebirth, we've met the Buddha Dharma, although our own future is still uncertain, as the time of our death could happen even today. If I did die today, I would have no real freedom to choose the realm of my rebirth. We ourselves could easily be subject to the sufferings of the lower realms, even achieving another human rebirth, we would still be subjected to old age, sickness, debt, dissatisfaction, fear, anxiety. So we should be clear in our determination to use this perfect human rebirth to achieve liberation from cyclic existence. Not for oneself alone, but for all of these infinite mother, father, sentient beings. who face those same torments, those same sufferings. So we ourselves must turn toward these valid sources of protection, sources of refuge, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So try to feel very deeply in the mind the wish to be guided, to be protected. And visualize that streams of white nectar and light flow from the heart of Shakyamuni Buddha, entering the crown of one's head, purifying yourself of all mental obscurations, defilements, sufferings, spreading out in all directions and purifying all those around you in the same way. As you think or recite the prayer of refuge. To the Guru, I go for refuge. To the Buddha, I go for refuge. To the Dharma, I go for refuge. To the Sangha, I go for refuge. And then think that the light becomes golden in nature and fills your body and mind with happiness and the causes of happiness, including all of the realizations of the path. As you recite or think, to the Guru, I go for refuge. To the Buddha, I go for refuge. To the Dharma, I go for refuge. To the Sangha, I go for refuge. And then think in response to that request, the request for refuge, for protection, for guidance, for blessings. The Buddha comes to the crown of one's head, melts into a stream of golden light, which enters the crown of one's head and pours down, descending to the level of the heart. And your body, speech, and mind become inseparably one with Shakyamuni's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. And concentrate on that feeling of inseparability And then when you're ready, we'll come back together and we'll dedicate the merit of that first meditation. So, connecting with that sense of the presence of the Buddha in our mind, we dedicate the power of his enlightened energy and effort to the swift enlightenment of all living beings, thinking, may I myself also become fully enlightened, so that I myself become exactly what is needed to benefit all sentient beings, in whatever form the Buddha takes in my life to teach, to guide, to protect. May I always receive those teachings without obscuration, obstruction, and put them into practice exactly as they were intended. All right. Any thoughts or questions? No, let's take a 5-minute break then and come back at like 10:38. Do we want to just move into the second meditation, or is there anything, any thoughts or questions that anyone would like to address? So for the second meditation, we will focus on all of these, except for the Vajrasattva meditation that we'll end with. All of these are connected to Shakyamuni Buddha in some way, as you know, one of the main texts for that was referenced in the module was the daily practice of Shakyamuni Buddha. So all of these meditations are connected to the Buddha. Um, so the second one that we'll do is emphasizing seven limb practice and mantra recitation of the Buddha's mantra. So again, just find your comfortable upright position and then reassert your motivation, recognizing again the unique, special, incredible opportunity that we have to study, to practice, living in relative safety and comfort, having the incredible leisure and opportunity of this perfect human rebirth. But recognizing that only securing one's own interests, one's own welfare is so limited that even animals spend their lives securing their own interests. So it's not a suitable purpose for taking advantage of this perfect human rebirth. Now is the time to transcend that limited self-interest, and work to secure the welfare of all sentient beings. And with that motivation, once again, bring to mind that visualization of the Buddha in front, the golden throne supported by snow lions, the open lotus with radiant sun and moon discs, and the Buddha with his body emanating an aura of golden light. And then once again in the presence of the Buddha, of the teacher, generating again the mind of refuge. The mind of refuge is developed on the basis of concern for how uncertain this life is, with its various sufferings, how uncertain the process of our rebirth will be, with the danger of falling into the lower realms, and a mind of faith, a mind of confidence, recalling the qualities of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, their ability to be a perfect refuge, to guide and protect without mistake. And then again, reciting the prayer of refuge. To the Guru, I go for refuge. To the Buddha, I go for refuge. To the Dharma, I go for refuge. To the Sangha, I go for refuge. And then we generate bodhicitta in the mind, thinking of people we know, we love, that are struggling, that are suffering, that are in pain. Thinking of situations occurring in the world right now that open the heart, the fears and anxieties, the sufferings of sentient beings, those who are hungry, those who are sick, those whose countries are torn apart by war or political, social oppression. Even thinking of those who have all of the necessary inner and outer conditions, but whose lives are full of confusion, mental torment. Taking responsibility in the face of all of this unhappiness to do something. And then contemplating the four immeasurable thoughts. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free of hatred and attachment. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Deity, grant me blessings to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings had happiness and the causes of happiness. May they have happiness and its causes. I myself will cause them to have happiness and its causes. Please, Guru Deity, grant me blessings to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free of suffering and its causes. May they be free of suffering and its causes. I myself will cause them to be free of suffering and its causes. Please, Guru Deity, grant me blessings to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of higher rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, grant me blessings to be able to do this. And we think of the first of the seven limbs, the limb of prostration, thinking of the quality of enlightened minds that we ourselves wish to develop, mentally prostrating with our body, speech, and mind to the qualities that we wish to develop within ourselves. And then thinking, what would I give to receive enlightenment? Perfect wisdom, perfect compassion, perfect power. What is that worth? And visualize skies of limitless offerings presented to the Buddha in exchange for receiving those qualities of enlightened mind, enlightened activity, and the Buddha experiencing great bliss of receiving such offerings. And then the limb of confession, thinking of the mistaken actions that we've engaged in, confessing them openly from the heart before Shakyamuni Buddha, generating strong regret in the mind, being determined to make different choices, avoid such negativities in the future. And then rejoicing in our own good qualities, rejoicing in the good qualities of others, the holy beings, the ordinary beings, all of the good in the world, thinking how wonderful. And the limb of requesting the Buddhas to stay, never wanting to be separated from the spiritual guide until we ourselves achieve enlightenment. Requesting not only that they stay, but that they teach, that they turn the wheel of Dharma continuously for sentient beings, wanting from the depths of our own hearts to receive their blessings, their teachings, their guidance. And then the limb of dedication, thinking of all of that virtuous activity, dedicating it for one's own enlightenment, the enlightenment of all other sentient beings. And thinking specifically in your own life of what you need from the Buddha to progress in your practice. What obstacles you need cleared away, what wisdom you need to grow, making a heartfelt request to the Buddha for guidance. And think that the Buddha responds to that request once more by coming to the crown of one's head, facing the same direction, about the size of the palm of one's hand. And the Buddha sends forth purifying streams of white nectar and light, completely eliminating all obscurations, negativity, sufferings, as we recite the mantra of the Buddha, Tayata Muni Muni Maha Munaye Soha. 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 Taito Omuni Muni Mahamunaye 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 Soha. Taito Omuni Muni And think as you continue to recite the mantra, the light becomes golden in nature and carries the realizations and the blessings of all of the Buddha's holy body, speech, and mind, and wisdom. Taito Om Muni Muni Mahamunaya Soha. Taito Om Muni Muni Mahamunaya Soha. Taito. Tayata Om Muni Muni Mahamunaye Soha. And think that Shakyamuni Buddha melts into a stream of golden light, and again descends to the level of the heart. And the Buddha's holy body, speech, and mind, and our body, speech, and mind become inseparably one, and we ourselves are clarified as pure light beings, abiding in the world for the purpose of benefiting others, thinking, this is me. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And again, we'll dedicate the merit of all that we've done so far, all of the positive energy generated to the quick enlightenment of every living being, including oneself, in order to become wish fulfilling for sentient beings. And think, may the precious Bodhi mind that is not yet born be generated, and that which has been generated never decline, but only increase more and more. All right. Any thoughts or questions, comments? All right, you can continue to think about it as we take a 10-minute break. And if there are, we can address them in 10 minutes at 11:22, 23. All right. Any thoughts or questions before we move into the third meditation for today? All right, so the third meditation, the final meditation for the morning session, be on focusing on perfect human rebirth in the context of practicing guru devotion to the Buddha. So again, we establish a firm, upright, stable position. We reassert our motivation that we have generated, our wish to be of greater and greater benefit to sentient beings, the wish to transform one's own mind, to overcome merely self-centeredness, to do what is truly beneficial for others, to be able eventually to bring all other sentient beings, these kind mother sentient beings, to a state beyond all suffering, a state of perfect, uncontaminated bliss and happiness, to give them what they seek. So we imagine that we invite the energy of all of our spiritual guides in this life to our space, thinking that they merge and take the aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha, feeling the living presence of the Buddha in our space. And then again, moving through more quickly the seven limb practice, recognizing the qualities of the Buddha's enlightened mind that we ourselves wish to develop, and prostrating to those qualities, making offerings to receive those qualities, confessing any negativities, any unskillful actions that are preventing us from moving in the direction of adopting those qualities, resolving to avoid those mistaken actions to the best of our ability in the future. Genuinely rejoicing in our own good qualities, the good qualities of others, and requesting that we never be separated in all our future lives from the Guru, and that the spiritual guide turn the wheel of Dharma continually for the benefit of all sentient beings, dedicating all of that mass of positive, constructive, beneficial activity to the enlightenment of oneself and all other sentient beings. and requesting especially Shakyamuni Buddha to bless our own minds to generate quickly the realizations of the path, particularly the realization of perfect human rebirth. And then the Buddha comes to the crown of one's head, facing the same direction as oneself, and remains there during the meditation to bless our minds. And we recite the first two verses of the foundation of all good qualities. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and venerable Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. And we begin to contemplate the richnesses of our perfect human rebirth, the unique intelligence of a human being, the serviceability of body and mind to study, to meditate, to contemplate, to expand our habits, our tendencies, our familiarities, to embrace not only our narrow self-interest, but with reason, with logic, to embrace all sentient beings without exception. Thinking of our own genuine interest in spirituality. Understanding that we have been born at a time and a place when the Buddha's teachings have appeared in the world, and that they still remain even 2600 years later. There are still people alive in the world today obtaining the results of those teachings, becoming great masters, achieving enlightenment. And there are many places of learning, places of study and retreat. So think back of all of these positive qualities that do characterize your life. Think that there's nothing in the way of your own enlightenment. It's simply a matter of time and energy and effort. We contemplate too how rare, how difficult it is for these causes and conditions to come together as they have for oneself. Thinking that there's nowhere, even in this world, where there's pure Buddha Dharma that has spread to even a whole city, a whole town, a whole state. How difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Buddha. And for those who can hear them, how many have the time, the interest to pursue them? We ourselves possess the method to put an end to suffering, the method to achieve genuine happiness. In the past, having amassed all of these causes through generosity, morality, patience, stainless prayer, think how many times we must have prayed to have the life that we have right now, to meet these precious teachings, to have this method to fulfill our deepest aspirations, to perfect one's own mind. So I think now, what will I do with the result of all of those prayers and practices that have come together? Generating a deep understanding that all there is left is to continue to make effort, to never give up, And then once more, make a request to Shakyamuni Buddha. Glorious and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon seat on my crown, and taking care of me with your great kindness, bestow upon me the attainments of your holy body, speech, and mind. I think that the Buddha is pleased with your effort and happily alights on that crown and dissolves there into a stream of golden light, descending down through the crown of your head, mixing inseparably his holy body, speech, and mind with your body, speech, and mind. Thinking once more that we are transformed into a being of golden light abiding in the world solely for the purpose of benefiting others. Again, thinking this is me. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And once more, we'll dedicate all of the virtuous energy and effort that we've created this morning, dedicating it to the ripening of the minds of all sentient beings, thinking may they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. And may I too achieve the state of enlightenment so that I might work for the benefit of all sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's own life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. All right. Are there any questions, comments?